Welcome back to another episode of Azrael Reacts. I'm your boy Azrael, and y'all already know what we on. It's American B, Native American series that I got going on right now. I gotta go ahead and get some more videos out because I just keep coming across stuff, man. I just keep coming, and hey, I already asked you Native Americans nice to stop being racist in my comments. So can y'all calm down with that? Dang. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into these videos. Remember, everything is for educational purposes only. I own no copyrights to any of the sounds also. So let's go ahead and get into these videos real quick.
Okay, let's read this comment real quick. He says, I guess he meant y'all are indigenous from Africa for sure, right? Because he's been heavy in my comment section. So let's do a deep dive into ancestry. Let's do that. So stay tuned. Let me add some more stuff. So when you type in Asian man, this is what comes up, right? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so here I typed in Siberian man, okay? So check this out. We're gonna get to some juicy stuff. Just stay here. Let's keep going. 24,000-year-old Siberian boy sheds light on origins of Native Americans, okay? The genome sequence of a 24,000-year-old young Siberian individual found in Russia shows that 14 to 38% of modern Native Americans' ancestry came from this youngster's gene pool, suggesting first.
If the people that we now call African Americans are the true Aboriginal people of the Americas, then who are the people that we call Native Americans? The $5 Indians. 1887, Congressman Henry Dawes of Massachusetts sponsored a landmark piece of legislation called the Dawes Severalty Act. What it did was allowed non-Native people to falsely claim Native status by paying $5, which gave them access to land and resources meant for real tribes people. However, it is important to note that before 1887 and the deliberate removal, destruction, and obliteration of all records that prove that the Aboriginal people of the Americas were Negro, the Webster Dictionary of 1828 described an American as follows. A native of America, originally applied to Aboriginals or the copper-colored races, found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America.
Native Americans are descended from the lost Siberian people. In 2019, scientists found tiny milk teeth in Siberia. These teeth are 31,600 years old. They are the oldest human DNA ever uncovered in Siberia. The teeth belong to two boys. They were part of a group called the ancient North Siberians. This group descended from early humans who migrated from Africa. They lived in Siberia during the last ice age. They hunted mammoths and big game animals. This population left no living descendants, but their DNA lived on in another group, the ancient Paleo-Siberians. This group is the direct ancestor of Native Americans. 2/3 of Native American ancestry can be traced back to them. Around 24,000 years ago, the ancient Paleo-Siberians split into two branches. One branch continued living in Siberia. Another branch migrated to North America. The story got more confusing. After that, the Native American ancestors encountered another population. This other group had genetic ties to Europe. They interbred. All modern Native Americans trace their ancestry to these two sources. The location where natives emerged is unclear. During the Ice Age, Siberians may have taken refuge somewhere else. Perhaps they came from a refuge on the Bering Land Bridge. That land bridge once connected Siberia and Alaska. The bridge flooded as the Ice Age came to an end, yet people continued crossing between the two continents. Tracing these migrations puzzles scientists. It also fuels debates about the origins of Native Americans. Genetic data found evidence of a second Paleo-Siberian wave. They reached Alaska between 9,000 and 6,000 years ago. They mixed with native peoples already present. Some natives today have this extra ancestry.
Okay, this beautiful lady wanted me to prove that I'm actually from Siberia and not from Taiwan. I cannot share pictures of my tribe because we don't have tribes now. We are living in basic normal cities and our republic is multinational. But I'm going to show you a picture of myself from 2014 in the national clothing, like the traditional clothing that Buryat Mongolians wear. So this is me in 2014 with one of my friends. He's representing the East Buryat Mongolian group and I'm representing the West Buryat Mongolian group. We have some differences even in our small ethnicity, which is insane, but it's true. Also, as a proof now, I can show you the book. This is called Gaset. This is the legend about the Buryat Mongolian warrior who conquered the evil.
Go King!
And Joe, you're not a tribal member.
Joe San Diego was not a tribal member because his father is from Arizona, and you cannot skip your grandparent. You can't go through your grandparents.
I want to follow them and see where they're going because
I think they're just going right there. So apparently they said, whatever they have, whatever proof. I don't know if you're excited to see it. So whatever lineage and things like that.
No. Okay, that's, you're going by what they're saying.
No, I know.
Our family goes back to the 1800s to this tribe. So lineage, isn't he have something? His mom's white. Someone like if he wants to go by that, then he needs to step down too.
I know, but you need to. I know, you guys have, briefs and whatever. But if you're gonna do things, do it legally.
We did. We do. They did.
Let me tell you why. Because you heard one side, right?
And they're doing this
I was
illegally.
the chair of the election committee for many years. In 2009, we passed in our constitution, just like our constitution of the United States, we have a constitution. Our constitution was passed and it was ratified by the people, for the people, and it went to lineal. And lineal descent means all the way up and all the way down. And because some people misconstrue that word. Okay, during that time that was passed, the BIA and the attorneys and everybody all knew that meant anybody that died, other family, your old grandfather did. Okay,
Chairperson just drove through.
And anything past that, they said, could be looked at. Okay, they've accepted our children past then. They've accepted other family members past then. So what you're hearing is one side. And it's
recorded.
And you will see down the road when this is overturned that what I'm saying is true.
They're trying to run up here. They're block up and come in and
Chairperson just drove up in this white pickup.
But now the
I used to come out of her car. No, we're not her.
and that's not what we're about. We're about our people. I got four children. So when I was the other side, I was here. People, this is our tribe. This is our home. No, it's ours. I sat on this side. Four votes for the Constitution says you gotta have a reason. No, my sister Sam, you will see. They're removing her. That's my sister. You know that she's been here for years. When this girl right there. This is our own. It's not at you personally. It's like you need to.
Smile for the camera. I got it. I'm videotaping.
I know, I seen her when I started down. She couldn't even look at me.
Hi, Rachel.
Well, we made it.
Hello, girls. How you doing? We are too. I just come to offer moral support for the disenfranchised tribal members. Aisha, smile for the camera. What are you... Okay, here's the meeting. Answer our questions. Follow.
Absolutely not. No.
Come on, guys.
Can't be closed.
No, this is not cool. No,
No,
this is our tribe still.
I understand that.
You cannot do this. You can't do this. This is illegal.
No, this is
No, absolutely not.
authorized people are coming in. Okay, and
This is
you guys
cool.
can't come
No. Okay, well, I'm not moving from this doorway. Okay, we want to see proof of this closed section. Where's the proof?
Yeah, where's the paperwork?
The law has no like
I'll get it for you.
law now.
Paper.
Okay, I can't do it when you're standing.
Thank you.
Wow.
You need to get
No, I'm not.
You're not exactly, so you need to move out of the way.
No,
Yes, you do.
no.
Yes, you
No,
do.
I don't. Please, no. Come on.
Christy, you got a baby to feed. You have a
I want to
baby.
see proof that this is a closed meeting, Aisha.
Christy, you have a baby. Think of your baby. Don't think of these. Don't think of them.
What? They're scared. Hide behind closed doors. Yeah, I see you too.
Christy,
You think the right
you
way,
have
Aisha?
a baby.
I will get
You
you.
got to think of your baby. Think of the baby. Don't think of them. Don't think of them.
This is bull. Now
Don't
you're
think of
recording
them.
me. Now that you're hiding behind a security officer. Do things the right way. This isn't the way our people taught us.
Christy. And you know she's a dancer. Unlike them, she's a
I don't
dancer.
see you in the roundhouse praying along the sides of your people. Do I? No.
Let me close the door.
She twerks. Christy, think of your baby. Don't Christy. Come on. Christy.
I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
I know, it's sad. This is some sad stuff here.
Christy, sad day.
I wish our ancestors could see us now.
I just want to stay right here. I want to go past you.
Yeah, but this is actually.
I always thought that the tribal police was going to be all
I
Indian
didn't break it. I'm technically
and
in
our
there.
members.
No, that's breaking.
I want to see proof that this
But why would you guys open the door in the first place?
Pardon me?
Why would you open the door? You have your thick glass right here. Why would you open the door?
Why would I open the door?
Yeah, why'd you open the door?
Because they're going. I guess they're going to do their meeting in here. I didn't know they were in here.
Is Sandy already in?
Yeah, there's a council member coming right now, so it needs to be open. Sandy's right behind us. Sandra Segala, she's on council.
I know.
Yeah.
I know she-
Well, until all the
she gets there,
council
I'll let her
members
in.
get in, I'm going to stand my ground right here until every single council member's in there, and I'll give you my word, I'll move out of the way.
Okay, if you can stand out here. And
No,
I'll stand
I'm good right here. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not breaking a threshold. I'm technically underneath it.
Which is breaking the threshold.
Well, I'm going to stand here until every single council member gets in this door.
Is Sandy
Okay,
here?
can you stand right here?
No, I'm going to stand right here until every single council member gets. I'm not doing anything illegally.
Actually, well, no, you are because you're breaking the threshold. Okay, which means you're entering. This is the threshold.
Okay, I'm not going to fight with you about this. Technically, you work for us.
Okay.
So don't
Technically,
just do one side.
Even though I do, okay, I still have to uphold whatever laws there are here, right?
Well, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. They're doing everything illegally. We are upholding.
You're not being very. You're not partial. You're not being very partial. And that's my sister and her aunt.
doing it illegal.
I mean, she's almost here. Why would you want to do illegal things, sir? Why would you want?
Oh, I figured it out now. The census, the same census that enslaved us, is about to free us, okay? Because listen right here, it says American Indian is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North and South America. That includes the people of Haiti. So how come the United States marks Haitian under black, which is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa? That's discrimination. You can't do that. So American Indians, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North America, that includes Haiti. However, Haiti is not tribally affiliated. So that then gives me claim to say that the United States has eliminated the identity of American Indians, who are the original peoples of North America, but do not have tribal affiliation to the 5 tribes that are governed by the United States. And that also includes the American Indians who are mentioned in the 1682 Virginia law, The Baby Follows the Belly, where it says these American Indians were taken as slaves through The Baby Follows the Belly, and then we weren't freed until 1865. So we too should be under American Indians, but they continue to put us under black. So thanks to Haiti, I can prove that American Indians who don't have tribal affiliation are not on the United States Census and being put into the black category of racial groups of Africa, because us as American Indians, the three-fourths of us freed after the Civil War in 1685 did not get freedmen cards to acknowledge African descent, because we are the American Indians who were taken with the Baby Follows the Belly in 1682. The American Indians taken from Haiti in 1493 are indigenous to North America, just not tribally affiliated. So the United States is discriminating against American Indians who are not affiliated with the tribe and claiming that they are of the black racial groups of Africa, which is not true. And I just proved it. Happy Indigenous History Month. I'm on their ass, okay?
Mexico Senator Ben Ray Lujan says the Trump administration has blocked hundreds of billions of dollars for programs that support Indian country and Native communities. The United States Senate Committee on Appropriations released a tracker of the cuts made by DOJ in Trump's first 100 days. They found $430 billion in federal funding is frozen, including $316 billion that cuts off vital services for Native communities. Those programs help with education, childcare, housing, public safety, and infrastructure, like the Indian Cultural Center in Gallup, which Senator Lujan says doesn't have clean water.
What it says is, do not drink the water. Do not use the water for consumption. Failure to follow this advisory could result in illness.
The 2026 proposed fiscal budget is suggesting a 24% cut from more core tribal programs that, if approved, would eliminate budgets for school repairs and a 20% reduction in support for tribal law enforcement.
They reclassified us. My great-great-grandma was an Indian. My great-grandma was an Indian. My grandmother was a Negro. My father is a color. And now I'm an African-American. Make that shit make sense.
Did was mass. And by the way, that's one of the other things we never give today. We used to give about American revolutions, all the black founding fathers. Today, if you talk about someone like Wentworth Cheswell, the first black elected to office in America in 1768, re-elected for the next 49 years, held 8 different political positions. Thomas Hercules, elected to office 1793. Don't talk about the fact that there never was a time in Massachusetts when blacks couldn't vote, or that in Baltimore, more blacks than whites voted to ratify the Constitution of the United States. Never heard of SEAL team members like Prince Sisson, black SEAL team member. Never heard of folks like Prince Estabrook or Oliver Cromwell. So many other black patriots, Lemuel Haynes, John Morant. We don't touch that in American history anymore, because that's a good thing about America. We got to cover the bad and the ugly. We don't cover the good stuff. We might not be ashamed of America if we cover the good stuff. So we get very little of black history in the American Revolution. There's a ton that we used to cover. But nonetheless, Benjamin Rush, leader in the civil rights movement, he's also considered the father of public schools under the Constitution. He's the guy who came up with the plan for public schools after we had the Constitution. He's also started 5 universities. 3 of them still go today. He's also called the father of American medicine. Came up with medical cures 200 years ago. We still use today. There are 2,000 students that got their diploma signed by Benjamin Rush. He started the American College of Physicians, was on 3 universities as a professor of medicine at the same time. Also started the faith-based prison reform movement in America. Also started the temperance movement in America. He also not only signed the Declaration, he ratified the Constitution. He served in 3 different presidential administrations. He was the director of the U.S. Mint. The guy's unbelievable what he did. He's involved in everything. That's why we knew him. But we won't study him today because, among other things, you see our atheist, agnostic, deist founding fathers here. He's the guy who started the Sunday school movement in America. So if you've ever been to Sunday school and enjoyed yourself, you can thank the sign of the Declaration. He also started the first Bible society in America. And I have the Constitution of that society. He said if we can get Americans to read the Bible, he said 2 things will happen. They'll become Christians. And second, if they'll live by the Bible, we'll solve all of our social problems. We won't have slavery. We won't have crime. We went through all the things we wouldn't have if we lived by the Bible. So he came up with the first mass-produced Bible printed in America, one you could print really cheaply and give to your neighbors. So we never talk about him today. He's one of the 3 most notable founding fathers, and we never talk about him. But when you read...
Somebody tried to call me an African American, and I had a chat, bro. Cuz what the fuck is that, fam? And when you think about it, bro, the term itself don't even make no sense, fam. How the fuck a nigga could be from 2 continents? You don't hear nobody walk around talking about no European American. So you want to call a nigga African American because supposedly during the Atlantic slave trade, 12.5 million Africans was taken out of Africa and taken to South America, North America, and the Caribbeans. But them numbers still don't add up, fam. Watch this. I know some of y'all bad at math, so I'm gonna try to break this down slow. The reason why this don't make no sense is because out of 12.5 million African slaves, 4 million was taken to the Caribbeans, 400,000 was taken to the US or North America, and the rest was taken to South America, which is Brazil, and that's the highest population of African slaves is in Brazil. All right, now y'all doing good. Stay with me now. This is 3rd grade math we about to do. In the Caribbeans, 4 million was taken to the Caribbeans, and to current date, we have 11 million African descended slaves there now. In Brazil, 5 million was taken. And currently we have 130 million African descended slaves in Brazil right now in South America. Now, in the US, we only have 400,000 niggas taken. And we got 40 million of them niggas current to this day. Now, how the fuck a nigga from Africa? Somebody ass is lying. Anyways, y'all boys stay up top.
In the history lesson, we were taught that the Italian sailor and explorer Christopher Columbus was the discoverer of the New World around 1492. Unfortunately, this narrative has been in the hands of the Europeans, who many believe imposed what profited them while scorning or amending what did not. As the waves of knowledge keep spreading, the acclaimed so-called achievements of a number of European expeditions are now being put to question. One of such expeditions is the true ownership to the discovery of America. According to a book written by an Egyptian scholar, Ibn Fadi al-Amari, in the year 1342, there were 2 large voyages across the Atlantic Ocean preceding that of Columbus. Both expeditions were pioneered by one man, Abubakari II, or to give him his rightful name, Mansa King Abubakari II. In the time of the Malian Empire, the general conception was that the end of the Atlantic lied the end of the world. Abubakari, on the other hand, was far from convinced. He argued that if the Niger had its beginning and its end, then the Atlantic Ocean must have its end with people living on its shores. With the quest for knowledge burning in him, Abubakari sent out 200 ships. Their duty was to sail across the Atlantic with the aim of finding out what lied beyond. It was recorded that only one of the ships returned, its captain claiming to have turned around when he saw the other ships disappear into the wild ocean. Unconvinced by the captain's account, Abubakari's curiosity increased the more. With the aid of the shipbuilders from Egypt and Mali, Abubakari built 2,000 ships off the coast of Senegambia. With this he sought to discover the end of the ocean. In the year 1311, Abubakari abdicated his throne to Mansa Musa. Abubakari equipped thousands of his ships with the finest men, sorcerers, physicians, sailors and navigators. Every ship had supply ship attached to it. The other 1,000 ships were loaded with foodstuffs, drugs, fruits and drinks to last his team for 2 years. It was believed that Abubakari arrived on the other end of the Atlantic in the year 1312. From a scientific point of view, the Atlantic is governed by 2 currents, which usually remain the same irrespective of month or season. These are the Guinea Current and the Canary Current. Both possess currents powerful enough to pull a ship from the coast of West Africa to the Americas. It would therefore be suspected that Columbus employed similar knowledge of the currents of the Atlantic to sail across to the Americas. Such could only have been possible through the help of someone familiar with the route. Hence the speculation that Columbus was accompanied by an African, Pedro Alonso Nino, who helped him navigate the Atlantic, appears more credible. It must be made clear that Columbus recorded seeing blacks in America. He also recorded seeing a building which looked like a mosque. The Malians were Muslims, and hence there is a possibility that the mosque could have been erected by Malians. Columbus also recorded seeing a ship filled with goods just departing the coast of Guinea and heading in the direction of America. They came before Columbus. The African presence in ancient America by Ivan van Sertima explores the hypothesis that African civilizations, including possibly the Mandinka Empire and Mansa Abubakari II, had contact with the Americas before Columbus. The book emphasizes the Olmec civilization in ancient Mexico, known for its enigmatic stone heads dating from 1200 BC to 400 BC, which van Sertima contends exhibit features reminiscent of African facial characteristics. This observation fuels the argument for an African presence in the Americas long before Columbus's arrival in 1492. Van Sertima also draws attention to linguistic similarities between African languages like Mende and Wolof, and certain indigenous American languages, suggesting possible connections forged through ancient trade or exploration.
Crazy. 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 Hey. I ain't really got much else to say because, like I've said before, black people are the aboriginal people to every continent on this earth. Everyone. And it's funny to me that, the Chinese can accept that they came from black people. Europeans can accept that they came from black people. These North Americans do not want to accept that shit. I find that so crazy. When no matter if you came from Alaska or if you're native to this land, Your people trace their people back to my people because my people was there first. Was there first. Because we was here first. Before anyone. And it's crazy. It's crazy that y'all will sit up here and be like, oh, you're using the white man's you're using the white man's book. You're using the white man's history from what he took. And then turn around and try to use that same history against us, though. Like, I'm staying out of it, but I get a lot of things that come from you guys using white man history. But then when I show someone using white man history, y'all say, oh, but you accept the white man history. But yet you're using it. Make that make sense. You can't, because it only makes sense when it's helping your point. When it's a point counteracting your point and it's actually putting down your point and proving that your point is wrong, you don't want that. No, that's crazy to me. Y'all are some crazy folks. Some of this work is some crazy work and it's very nasty. But like I said, I'm staying out of it. I'm staying biased. As long as y'all keep them negative and nasty racist comments out of my comments, I will stay out of it. I'm just watching. That's it. But keep bringing that on and I'm going to let you know. Because that ain't right. But anyway, it's hot. I need to get to the pool. And I'm your boy Azrael. This has been another episode of Azrael Reacts. And I'll check you guys next time. Deuces.